I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I'm coming. Wait, yeah, I'm going to hit water. Ooh. Ow. Guys, I'm so sorry about that. I slipped. Oh, God, my leg. I shouldn't have done that. I am too old for this. I'll be right back as soon as I get some medical attention. Stick around for the review of Sting. Oh, I'm too old for this. Welcome back, guys, to Little Paul of Horrors. I am Little Paul, and thank you for visiting my channel, Little Paul of Horrors. For those of you who have subscribed, thank you so much. For those of you who are passing by and saying, who is this guy? Well, my name is Little Paul. Actually, just call me Paul if you want to, but little is because I'm short in stature. Well, not short in stature, but small in stature. My channel is here dedicated to giving my opinionated reviews, remember, about horror movies, past, present, and hopefully in the future. So if you are a person who enjoys horror movies, please stick around, watch reviews that I've had from the past, stick around and watch this one as well. Like, subscribe, and share. Click and click and click. Leave comments. Do all that great stuff that YouTube is out there for. So today I have an interesting movie to talk to you about today. Something that really impressed me because I'm a person who's extremely arachnophobic. I don't like spiders. And this movie is called Sting. It's about a spider. A really big spider. Well, it's a small spider that turns into a really big spider. Now, you have to understand, small spiders, I don't mind. Like if I grab about 15 tissues, I'll put it inside if I can grab it and let it open the door, let it out, and have it go on its merry way. It's the big spiders I don't like. You know, like things like tarantulas, or the biggest spider of them all called the fear spider. It's found in southern Brazil, in the rainforests. And it lives in a tree. And it's the size of a human head. And it eats small or medium-sized mammals. Yeah, it's venomous, it's dangerous, and I don't like them. But anyway, what does this movie have to do with that? Everything, because it's about a spider. So the movie was directed by Kia Roche Turner, and it stars the following people. You have Ryan Gore as Ethan, who plays the superintendent and the stepfather. 2, Charlotte, who is played by Alila Brown. Penelope Mitchell is the mother as Heather. Then Robin Nevin as Gunter, and Nani Hazelhurst as Helga. They play the sisters. Then we have Sylvia Coloca as Maria, who gets the nastiest, who actually experiences the nastiest death scene in the movie. And then we have Danny Kim as Eric, and then Jermaine Fowler, who cracks me up as Frank, who is the exterminator. Now, the movie is very inventive, it's very creative, and I couldn't find how much it cost to make the movie, but it made a little bit more than $1 million, which is not that much to say with regards to the movie itself. It came out on April 12th of this year, and it was, came out on, you could watch it on streaming as of, I do believe I watched it. It's June now. What's before June? May. I watched it in May. May is before June. Yeah, May. So I watched it before May. May. I watched it in the month of May. So after I watched it, or right before I decided to watch it, I said to myself, Paul, you have a fear of spiders. Is this going to be a good idea? And I said to myself, yes. You know why? Because that fear that I already have of spiders is going to intensify while I watch the movie. And it does. Now, the movie is creative. It starts off with this small little, I would say, space fragment that is hurtling towards the Earth, cracks and smashes right through a window and lands inside a dollhouse. And then this little structure, this space structure, looks like the egg from Alien. It looks like it. And it opens up like the egg from Alien. And from inside there comes this emerges a small black spider. It starts to crawl around, the dollhouse itself. And during that time, right through the vent of the apartment building, Charlotte appears because Charlotte can crawl through the vents. And she lives in the building, so she crawls through the vents and she gets to her grandmother's house. But she gets via the vent, she retrieves she's able to enter into the room that belongs to her grandmother in her grandmother's apartment that has all of these old dolls and has doll houses as well. And then she looks on her hand as she's looking at the dollhouse, and what does she see? The little spider there has attached itself. It hasn't bitten her or anything. It's just there. And she becomes, I wouldn't say, well, she becomes interested in the actual spider and decides to take the spider home with her and puts it inside a jar. And she decides to call it Sting. Now, some individuals might like to debate the title of the movie. Well, spiders don't sting, they bite. Yes, that is true. Spiders sting. Spiders bite. They don't sting. But when they bite you, it feels like a sting. So trust me, from a person who has been bitten by enough spiders, I could tell you, it hurts and it stings. So from there on, what happens is that the spider itself is kept inside a container. And throughout the movie, as I was watching it, it reminded me a lot of two movies that were combined into one. So it reminded me of the movie Alien and the movie Quarantine. So two movies together. And it's very much so. So the kill scenes are very graphic and they're very gory. And one kill scene, such as this one with Maria, I just felt so bad for Maria. When you watch the movie, you learn about her character and what she's going through. And she gets it so bad by this spider. It's hard to watch. Like usually when you watch horror movies, and you see people getting killed, it's usually like bad people or condescending people or sometimes even innocent people. But when it's the innocent people that I find so heartbreaking because, she was going through so much and then she gets completely, eaten by this spider because this spider becomes lustful towards blood and it starts to grow at an increasing rate. And it has something that other spiders don't have, obviously because it's an alien. It's not a real spider from Earth. So you have to watch the movie to see how it actually mimics in order for it to catch its prey. Very inventive. Another thing that I liked about the movie was the POV shots and that were being used by the director, by Kia. And I was surprised because I was like, well, you see the spider, you see it in certain shots of the movie. You see it on the floor, you see it in the vents, you see it, on the ceiling, you see it on the floor, you see it in the vents. But then most of the time you see it, it's out of focus. But then when you feel and when you know that the spider's in the room, the director is using the POV method. So it feels like you're like part of the spider, like it's crawling around and you're there like with it to explore the area, to explore the house that it's in or the apartment that it's in, to explore the vents that it's in. I found that very interesting. And I found that it like actually made you become immersed into the monster and become part of the monster that way too. I like that. Now, as I mentioned before, the spider grows and you don't get to see it very often. It's not in your face until this scene. That scene. Oh yeah. Right in Charlotte's face. Now my question would be, what would you do if you saw a huge, gigantic, venomous, bloodlusting spider in your face like that? I would fall to pieces. Literally. Bits and pieces of me would just start falling right off. And you'd have to, like, put me in a bag somewhere and try and reattach me later if you could. Because that would literally happen. That, or I would just have a complete and utter heart attack right there and just die. One of the two. Now, if we go into the whole symbolic representation of this movie, isn't that a great segue, going from a really huge monster that wants to kill you to the symbolic representation? Fans, what do you think of this? I thought so. Thank you so much. See, my fans agree with me. Thank you. Thank you. I know that you love this. So with me having said that, what am I going to tell you about this? Well, the movie itself, I find, takes the spider and uses the spider as a catalyst to allow Charlotte to become, or to obtain revelations of what reality is inside her life. Because there's a certain reality that she's living that is not 100% truthful. So via the exposure to this huge spider and all of the events that are occurring, there are certain revelations that are made to her by her stepfather and her mother that she was not aware of. So it helps her grow. It helps her grow as a human being. So that can be directly related to even us. Certain things in life can happen that are very, very big, that are catalysts to us learning lessons about what the truth really is instead of what we believe it is. Interesting and very deep, I might add. Yes, I am smart. No, I'm not. I'm just, making a point that I just realized. Awkward silence. It's part of the creative aspect of this review. Why am I whispering? And why am I not talking loud? Who knows? Maybe a spider bit me. No spider bit me. I'm just off the wall. Anyway, so the movie then continues on to the ending. The ending, well, close to the ending, you start to see how the spider, captures you and what it does to you. As in this still you see in this picture here, this person is actually enveloped in the spider's web. It's more of an alien web. And how it eats you from the outside in, because that's how spiders digest. They digest from the outside in. And then we have more humor from Frank the Exterminator, and we have more blood and gore and scare scenes, especially with Gunther when she's trying to find her cat. And how the spider lures her into finding the cat is really interesting. So if you've watched the movie, leave a comment down below and let me know what you thought about the mimic that it uses in order to lure its prey, which I found very interesting. Now, the ending, the complete ending, a lot of the, I would say, critics that I read online didn't give it such good reviews because they thought that it was silly. It was too over the top. It didn't make any sense. It wasn't realistic. I thought it was interesting because I said to myself, look, the character Charlotte really enjoys reading comic books. She's creative and she's, she seems to be well grounded when it comes to what she feels about her passions. And I believe that the scene that a lot of these critics are talking about that made it so silly, I found it to be quite inspiring. And the reason why I said that is because sometimes you need hope. Sometimes you need to have that hope to believe that certain things can occur. So this has to do with the ending of the movie. I don't want to spoil it for you, but I thought it was beautiful at the end. But then right towards the additional ending of the movie, there's something hidden right there that becomes very apparent. I don't want to say it's a surprise, but boy, it adds to the movie's ending. But as I mentioned, the movie has it all. It is funny. It is gory. The script is really solid. The acting is very good. The point of view shots are excellent. The special effects are very good. There's CGI plus animatronics that were put into this movie as well to give it more of a realistic feel to it. Also, the message behind the movie of how we realize certain truths, with catalysts being there to allow us to become, apparent and reveal the truths to us. I thought that was very interesting too. So I really enjoyed the movie. I liked everything about it. It was very fun to watch. It did scare me. I have to admit, it scared me very, very much because of the fact that A, I'm arachnophobic, and B, I can't stand spiders, which leads to A, because, A, I'm arachnophobic. Hence hating spiders. So I hope that makes sense. So just let me know, what did you think about my personal viewpoint of this movie? Did you like it? Did you think it was good? Did you think it was bad? Let me know what your comments are about this movie in the comments below. And please like, subscribe, and share this channel. Thank you very much for visiting. And just as an added side note, clean out the cobwebs. Once in a while, look up. Because you never know who might decide to drop by and say hello. Until then, enjoy the show, guys.